Lastly, and this is what a lot of people were worried about, no developing new projects like Legacy. Right. Meetings regarding new projects are disallowed until WGA's strike rules. Under WGA's strike rules, which cover any new pitches for feature films or scripted television. While there wasn't any indication Paramount Plus was ready to move forward on the development of any new Trek shows, this would put a pause on any potential talks between Picard showrunner Terry Matalas and Paramount regarding a possible Star Trek Legacy spinoff. Okay, so that means they can't even pitch it. They can't talk about it. They can't meet about it. They can't develop it. It's just you hit the pause button completely on it. I mean, he can sit at home and develop, whatever ideas he has. He can think about it, take notes, write a Bible, do whatever he wants. But anything official is completely paused. I thought that would elicit a bigger response.
It is kind of sad, though, because there is such a huge momentum. That just means, so for everyone out there watching, that just means you have to continue, even during all, support the writers, right, through the writers' strike. But you have to continue to ask for it, right? As they've talked about, the fans are the ones that can continue to ask for it. And as long as it, don't let it die. I mean, my hope is that, so as people saw, Picard hit top 10 in streaming. It was number 8 on IMDb's top television shows. It was number 2 on IMDb's sci-fi genre, right? Let's hope that there's talk for Emmy awards, right? Even if they get shortlisted, that's a big deal. Sci-fi movies don't get shortlisted for Emmys, let alone get nominated, for television Emmys. It just is a weird thing because it usually falls under drama, right? So it's hard to break through that ceiling.
Save the drama for your mama, though.
I know, right? I wish there are other awards, right? There's going to be other awards, so there's other opportunities for other awards too. And then there's obviously all the creative arts Emmys, which Star Trek has won in the past, and I'm sure will continue to win. But that, just keep the momentum going, right? Just because there's a pause officially on some things, don't you pause.
That's a great transition for the
I was just going to say that is the perfect segue.
One other thing to say to close this part out, which is really interesting. The fact that the writers are so vocal, and unlike the 2007 strike or the 1988 strike, we all I feel we all know the writers, and the writers come on this show, and the writers come on our Seventh Rule shows, and they're part of Virtual TrekCon, and they're all interacting with us on Facebook and especially Twitter every day. And it's just in addition to the writing, they've also become a huge sort of brand ambassador, and they are being undervalued for that. And they do, in addition
they're
to
part of the PR team
spend
practically
all the day,
right?
We know them
biggest
better
PR
than anybody else. So, and it continues way beyond when the show ends. So I think it's really interesting to see how this unfolds now that they are sort of personalities in their own right.
Well said, Dr. Embry.
Great point.
If you follow Larry Nemechek, because he's been covering Star Trek strikes for decades now, or writer strikes for decades, and how
he's been causing them, you mean?
No. Wait, is it correlated? No. No. So he did some really great coverage today on Trekland Tuesday with Larry. And
cool.
If you follow his YouTube channel, he'll be releasing more videos with his insights, which are just so fascinating. And he talks to different people who are involved in that. And a lot of previous Enterprise writers are involved pretty highly, David Goodman. I know he was on the news talking about it a few days ago. So there's just, Larry's a really great person to turn to for coverage also.
So that is Larry Nemechek's Trekland. You can find that on YouTube as well. Good friend of the show. Also, very quickly in the live chat, we see Lisa Mackey, who's also in Canada, Northeast Canada. Lisa, are you allowed to tell people what you auditioned for? Just what production you auditioned for recently? Go ahead and tell them in the live chat if you can, because that's pretty cool. So anyway, our segue. Muhammad's it's not a segue if it's 3 minutes later, bro.
Okay. Do I need to repeat? Like,